And I'm your host, Dana Miliori. How are you today? I hope your energy is serving you well. Today, I really want to talk to you about your life, and if things aren't going the way that you want them to, there is a specific reason for that, and I really want to dig into that today. Now, before we get started, let's take a moment to just center our energy. So can you take a deep breath here with me? One more. Thank you for that. So there is an energetic DNA about your life, the story you energetically have within you. Now, this may be a story that you tell to multiple people, and it might not even be a story you actually verbalize out loud, but it is an energetic frequency of a story that lives and resides within you. Now, this is one of the first things that I work on changing, with my clients that want to manifest consciously, want to create the reality the way they want it. We first have to identify what is this energetic story you're holding within you that is keeping you where you don't want to be, or is keeping you in a place that you no longer want to stay in and you really want to grow from. It may not be an issue for you to be there, but you want more, okay? And there's this energetic story that lives within you. Well, how do you identify your story? If I were to ask you right now about your life and about what you wanted for your life, I want you to think of what comes up in your mind telling you why it isn't that way right now. Why you can't have that thing that you want, or why it's out of your reach. What comes up for you? There's something that's going to come up for you when you think about that. That piece right there is this energetic story that's keeping you living the reality that you are right now. And there may not be anything really wrong with that, but you want to evolve it. You want to change it. Or maybe there is something drastically wrong with it. You're very unhappy. You're in a low depressed state and you really want to escape that. So either way, there is a formula. There is the laws of the universe to work with here, especially the law of vibration. Okay, so this is what we are going to be working on shifting. It's very important to make this a consistent practice. If you're not making it a consistent practice, you will, like the needles on a chart, okay? You'll maybe have a spike and then you'll just kind of go flat for a while, then have a spike and then kind of go flat. Well, we need a consistent up and down. We need a consistent up and down because we need to shift your dominant frequency. Okay, so what is a dominant frequency? It's the average of frequencies that you have going on within you that's really creating your atmosphere, your 3D atmosphere. And just the other day on Instagram, somebody asked me, how do I ignore the 3D? Well, again, this is something that takes practice and meditation and visualization and practicing feelings of love and appreciation are the 3 top things that will help you ignore your current reality and raise your frequency higher. And practicing these 3 things will actually help along with shifting your dominant frequency. They go hand in hand. So again, those 3 things are meditation, visualization, and practicing the feeling of love in your heart center and that feelings of appreciation. Okay. It sounds simple, and it is simple, but I never said it was easy because depending on the momentum that you have built up in your energetic energy field will determine its difficulty, okay? Because imagine a spectrum, okay? Here's the frequency you want to reside on dominantly to get what you want, and you are here. And the energy that you have, imagine this bubble around the frequency you have, and it's bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every day. That means its magnetic pull is stronger. This is what I mean when I talk momentum. It is stronger, okay? So if your momentum is very strong on the opposing frequency, your dominant frequency that you're on, it's going to feel almost impossible, but it's not impossible. That's just the strength of momentum and energy. And it can work towards you once we pivot that shift and we get you into feeling, or at least get you into a different frequency dominantly. Even if it's not the frequency that resides on the outcome that you're imagining, that you want for yourself, that you want to manifest, even if you shift it higher, you'll begin to see things shift in your reality. You'll gain a stronger belief system about truly being the creator of your own reality. If you've been listening for a while now, or you're a brand new listener to this episode, ask yourself, do I truly believe I create my reality? That's something you want to sit with and meditate with. And things may come up telling you why that's not true based on something that happened to you, because I would have never actually attracted that or created that. This is something you need to accept and truly believe that you create your reality. If you are looking to be a conscious creator, because for those of you who don't want to consciously create and are creating by default, okay? So when I say creating by default, what I mean is that you're not taking conscious time out of your day, 10, 15 minutes, and cultivating the energy that you want to live in, cultivating the energy that you want to ultimately feel based on this manifestation that you want. Instead, you're living a reactionary life to what is already past tense manifestation that is going on around you. Because what's manifesting right now came from a dominant frequency that was held within your energy field. That is super important, okay? And so let's recognize that. And let's ask ourselves, is it where I want to stay? Is it where I want to be? Do I want more of it? Do I want less of it? Chances are you probably want less of it. I know for a lot of my situations, past tense, I didn't want any of it. Right now, I love a lot of things that are going on in my life, but definitely still need to shift in certain areas. Because let me tell you, it's not like there's this one frequency, right? It's depending on what vibration and what frequency you emit on the subjects of what it is you want. And then there's that dominant one frequency, okay? Because my frequency about love, about family, about appreciation is one of the highest frequencies that I have. And that's why my relationship, my family life is so perfect and amazing in the way that I truly, want it to be, because I've worked on that energetically. And I'm really happy with that. But when it comes to career, it's very up and down. It's very ebb and flow, because this is one of the last things that I've worked on for myself, is focusing on the story I believe about myself and what I think is possible for myself. And that goes the same with you. What you want for yourself, there's a story that you have, there's a belief that you have about it, and there's this subconscious program, okay, which is really just a deep dug belief, okay, about what you believe about it. And so our conscious mind is very masculine energy, and our subconscious mind is very female energy. And everything is about the duality of these two energies and really having a beautiful balance between the two, okay? We are going to get into more later episodes about the masculine and feminine energies. But right now, I want you to think about what it is you're really striving for, and what are the stories that are coming up in your mind, in your emotions, that are telling you why you can't have it, that are telling you why it's not possible, that are telling you why your life is not going to be getting there anytime soon. And a lot of the times it's from focusing on what is, and letting our current reality of what is now, which again is a past tense manifestation, is looking at that and going, oh, it's not here. And so how does that make me feel? How does that contribute to my belief about what I want? And how does that contribute to the dominant frequency that's creating my reality? And chances are your amplifying it, you're keeping it a consistent frequency of what you don't want, because you're constantly looking at what is in comparison of why it isn't the way you want it to be. And that is such a contradictional energy. And it's so easy to be there because it's so easy to look at what now is and allow that to take over your energy. So I ask you, what practice do you have in place to keep consistent focus and redirection on the energies that you want to live in, that you now want to embrace for you? And again, I mentioned these at the start of the episode, but the 3 things that I would consistently put into your practice is a form of meditation, a form of visualization, and practicing feeling love and appreciation in your heart center. Okay, this is the 3 things. This is the ultimate recipe to shift your frequency, to raise your vibration, which, if done consistently, will shift your dominant frequency, which then will shift your reality. Okay. Now, if you're stuck on, what to meditate and how to meditate, because there is like 1,000,001 ways to meditate, well, I would recommend grabbing my Ascension Workbook, my free guide, through the link below this podcast episode or this YouTube video that you're watching. Grab that. That has got everything I mean on these 3 things, okay? And meditation can be very simple. You don't have to make it this complicated thing. You don't have to put meditation up on a pedestal and make it hard to stay consistent with. It can be very simple. It can be something that's only 5 minutes a day, though I do recommend 15 to 20 minutes. I even have a training on what's called the 6-phase meditation, which is very powerful. It's absolutely free, but it's only available till June on the platform that it's currently residing on. If you want more details about that, that is in my guide, the workbook, or you can reach out to me and I'll happily send it to you. Okay. Now, remember, you are so powerful, and there's going to be times in your life where it doesn't really feel that way, that you feel powerless to the situation, that you are feeling low vibrations in your belief system about what you can achieve. And that's a part of this process, because when you're feeling down, it's ultimately something in you that needs to be released. It's a story within you that needs to be released, whether it's what actually just happened that's replaying for you and making you feel a specific way about your life, that's making you feel that negative emotion. And again, that's your inner guidance system, your inner soul part of you, the non-physical part of you, communicating with you. Its language is energy, and it's translated through an emotion. And that's why we call it your emotional guidance system, because the emotions you feel are your indications of where you're directing your focus. It knows where you want to go. It knows your path of least resistance to get there. And it's giving you the guidance 24/7, 365 in your emotion of what direction you are going. So it's very powerful to gain greater self-awareness, and that is done through meditation. And having greater self-awareness just means realizing what you're thinking and where your emotions are going, where your energy is focused sooner. Because the sooner you catch it, the less momentum it will have. Unless it's something you really want to have great momentum. It's something positive you're thinking. You're feeling alignment. You're feeling those spiritual chills, those goosebumps, and you have this resonance. Then you want to milk it. Then you want to stay there. Then you want to amplify that feeling, because that creates greater momentum. Remember that scale I was talking about? Now you're on a higher frequency and you want to create that bigger momentum around that frequency, because then it's going to have a stronger pull. and you're going to find yourself less on the lower frequency side. This is how we shift that dominant frequency, and that's what shifts our reality. So very important to keep that in mind. You are such a powerful being, and you can really create truly whatever it is you want. It does take dedication about your focus, about your energy, about your emotion, about your self-awareness of where you are at and what it is you want. Just know it is possible for you. You are a powerful creator. Anything that you desire means it's already existing in the quantum field. The energetic field of how our reality is created and what's created everything in our reality from this point in history, okay, comes from the quantum field. And how we pull things from the quantum field into our reality is matching the energy, matching the frequency, matching the vibration. And when that's done consistently on a dominant state, it pulls into your reality. So remember that what is going on around you is a direct result right now of what energy and frequency is in your auric field. And how much time are you setting aside to practice what it is you want to feel? What is the energy? What is the vibration? What is the frequency? What is the emotion? Because remember, these things are all very similar. They're pretty much all the same thing. Energy is emotions, emotion and energy. And then that's a frequency and that's a vibration. It literally is the same thing. So if you just pay attention to the emotion that you're feeling and what's going on around you, that's a direct result of what is dominantly within you. So how do we shift that? Is consistency, self-awareness, focus. And again, this goes back to meditation, visualization, and amplifying the feelings of appreciation and love in your heart center. Because the magnetization that will surround pulling in the experiences you want from the way you feel, your heart is so much more powerful attractor than your brain. Like 1,000 times, 5,000 times more magnetic pull in your heart. Okay, so we do want to use our visualization, but we also want to keep focused on how that visualization is making us feel. Any manifestation technique that you're going to use, whether it is scripting, visualizing, 369 method, all those methods that exist, you just really want to have enough self-awareness to determine what's the energy and frequency I'm emitting while I practice this. So you want to use methods. You don't just want to use a method because somebody used this method and it worked for them and they got result. Maybe you want to try that, but if it's not resonating with you, if it's not easy for you, if it's becoming more of a struggle for you, that is emphasizing frequencies that are not going to attract your desired outcome. So why practice it? Find a different one. It's all about trial and error and having the willingness to go forth in belief and in the expectancy that you can shift this and you can change this and practice that. Make that your practice. What do you expect to happen in your life? Because whatever's got that hold on you is what's happening. Expectancy is farly underrated in creation into the 3D. That needs to be reopened, and that needs to be practiced, or at least brought to your awareness of what it is you truly expect from things going on in your life and outcomes coming from your life. And how do we determine expectancy? From what's happened before. And so how do we break that pattern? We stop looking to what has happened before and stop allowing that energy to move forward in a similar pattern, and we break the pattern by focusing differently. And so I ask you, make that your practice. From now until next week, practice the meditations I've set aside in the Ascension Workbook, or practice your own that you've maybe haven't done in a while, or the ones that you're familiar with. Practice them. Practice visualizing the outcome you seek, and then practice feeling the appreciation and love in your heart center. I can't thank you enough for being here, listening to this episode. I can't wait to dive deeper with you next week. Much love and appreciation.
Did you like this episode? If so, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Are you an expert at creating your own reality? Do you have a story to tell that drastically changed your life? If so, message me at Dream Creation Podcast on Instagram, and don't forget to leave a review.